In this video, we'll be looking at simplifying radical roots. We'll look at cubic and to the fourth root of solutions. Also, I'll remind you of a division trick in this, and we'll look at the ideal behind it. So we'll start out with the cube root of x to the fifth, which I will remind you can be written as x to the 5 over 3. And if you look here, we have the cube root of x times x times x times x times x, which is what x to the fifth means. And so what I did is I grouped them. With a cube root, I'm looking for something that I can multiply 3 times and get the number. Okay. In this case, x times x times x, we could write as the cube root of x cubed. And I'm going to separate these two. So we have the cube root of x squared. And this will become just x. I can mark that out, giving me the answer in the bottom left is x times the cube root of x squared. And what you need to notice is whatever the number is in front of the root is how many we have to have before we can pull them out. If you remember this from Algebra 1, this is very similar to the square roots that you may have learned. So the first problem we're going to look at is a very easy one. We have the cube root of 27. And hopefully you remember from our time in class, this is going to be 3. And we can check it. 3 times 3 is 9 times 3. So 9 times 3 is 27. So that checked out. And so that's how cube root works. If you would like, we could write it out as 3 times 3 times 3. Notice we have 3 of them here. We'll pull that out, saying that equals 3. Okay. And with these, I would highly recommend learning your math facts. This will make life a lot easier for you. Looking at our next one, we have several terms in it. Again, we're looking for 3 of the like terms. So what I'm going to do is write it out. I'm going to leave 729 right now. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. I am going to look at x to the 7th. I am going to break that up using our power rule as x to the third, x times x to the third to the power of x1, and my y, same ideal, y third, y1. For every 3 we have, we can pull that out. So we're going to pull 2 x's out, giving me x squared. We pull a y out, giving me just y. And now we need to break up 729. And I'm going to use my parentheses just to help me separate them. Now 729, I'm not sure what can divide into it. I'm going to try our trick with 3, which I'm going to add up the digits. And if we get something that can be divisible by 3, then 729 can be divisible by 3. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 9 is 18, and of course 18 is divisible by 3. So what that means is I can now take 729 divided by 3, and I'm going to try to write as small as possible. So I have plenty of room. This is going to give me 12. This will be 4, 3. And so again, we look at 243. 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 3 is 9. So again, 3 can be divisible by 243, which is 81. And now I know my fourth, and I know 3 to the 4th power is 81. So 3 to the 4th times 3 equals 729. You can check it with a calculator. So coming down here, I'm going to write it out. Now if you have a keen eye, you'll notice that we can write 3 cubed times 3 cubed. So 27 squared will equal 729. And so we pull out everywhere we have a 3 cubed, we're going to pull that out, giving me 3 times 3, or 9 on the outside. And then the cube root of x times y. Now notice this is getting very messy. I don't like that at all. So what we're going to do is use our parentheses just to kind of help us keep everything together. And so I'm going to put it around the 9. And then we'll have the cube root of x over y. Okay? And again, it's very important to keep it neat and nice, just like this. The last thing we're going to look at is the fourth root, and the only thing that will change for us from the cube root is we're now looking for 4 of the like terms. And so I'm looking at 64. That is even. We can divide by 2 or 4. I'm going to divide it by 2, giving me 32, which will be 2 to the 5th. So what I'm going to do is write 2 squared times 2 to the 4th, which is 4 times 16, which will be 64. A cube, I only have 3 of these, so I can't pull anything out. That's 3 is less than 4, but with the b to the 4th power, I can pull one of those out. So I'm looking for any one that has 4 or more, and so that's going to give me 2b to the times the 4th root power of 4a cubed. And I changed the 2 squared back to a 4 just to make it a little bit easier.